Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you're all well. Welcome to today's video. I appreciate you watching my videos, it really means a lot. So as you know, we are currently at the World Cup break, and as I'm speaking right now, I have Argentina versus Saudi Arabia on the telly watching. So I just wanted to make a quick video and talk about the first half of the FPL season so far. So we're gonna see how my team did, in general. Did I reach my goal for the first half of the season? And also we're gonna look at my team from game week 1 until game week 16 and look at some mistakes that I did, but not only talk about the past, not only talk about the mistakes, but also try to make sure that I fix those mistakes for the upcoming game weeks. So the goal of today's video is to, in a way, to become a better FPL manager with every upcoming game week and every upcoming year. So yes, thank you for watching, I appreciate all of you, and let's start today's video. So first of all, let's talk about my overall rank. So if you have watched my previous videos, you would know that my my rank goal for game week 16 was to get into top 100k. In the end, I ended up just short of that. So as you can see, my overall rank was 153,000. So that's basically two or maybe three returns, let's say it like that, from top 100k. So I was close, but unfortunately not close enough. But that's okay. When we look at my start of the season, the fact that I was not even in the top 1 million after game week 8 or 9, I believe. So when we take that into consideration, I am happy with my overall rank, and I still think that my overall goal for this whole season, which is top 10k, is still reachable. Now it's going to be hard. Basically, I looked at the overall points, and people that are into the top 10k are currently at around 1000 points. So that basically means I would need to make 50 points on them to reach the top 10k, but I am convinced I can do it. I am confident, and yes, that's pretty much it. So let's go and see how my team looked throughout this season. So we're gonna start with game week 1 and see what the problems were for the slow start to the season. So in game week 1, as you can see, I got 62 points, so it's an average score, nothing too crazy, but not that good either. And when we look at my game week 1 team, the first thing that comes to mind, to me at least, as a first mistake that I did this season, is the fact that I have double up on the Liverpool defense and double up on the Man City defense. So I ended up going with 2 double ups in the defense this season. Basically, I thought that these two teams were by far the 2 best teams into the league, and with their good starting fixtures, I saw a lot of possible clean sheets in between the two, so that's the reason why at the end I decided to go for double up on both of those teams, but it was my first mistake of the season. Now, as you can see here, Man City, they got a clean sheet. Okay, yes, that was okay, but Liverpool double up was awful. If I remember correctly, I barely got any points till game week 4. That was the only game week in which they got some points. Other than that, they were awful. They conceded from pretty much every team, and these two players are the most expensive, or were the most expensive defenders at that time, so it was a lot of funds just sitting there game week after game week, getting 0, 1 or 2 points. So that was, and plus I had to make transfers up front, as we will see for the other game weeks. So I ended up having these two players for quite some time, patiently waiting for their points, but they never came pretty much. So that was my first mistake of this season, and that puts the question, and I want to ask all of you guys this. So is double up on a defense good in general? So forget Liverpool, let's talk about some decent team, whichever team that is, let's say Man City, maybe Newcastle. Is doubling up on their defense a good strategy for FPL, considering the Premier League is the hardest league in the world, and the fact that pretty much any team can score against anyone? At least I think like that. So team like Nottingham Forest can easily score against Liverpool like they did this season. Team like Brentford can easily score against a team like Man City, like that they also did in this last game week. So the question becomes, is just spreading out the funds instead of going up for a double up the better option? So should have I just started with, let's say, Trent, Cancelo, and then instead of these two, maybe I should have had maybe a Spurs defender and a Chelsea, maybe Reece James or something like that, as a better option. That's what I wanted to ask you, and I think I have the idea of the answer for that. Now, from the attackers that I got, Mo Salah, as you can see, he was my captain, and I was planning on having him pretty much throughout the whole season. I thought that he would be like the Mo Salah of old, but as you know, this season was a little bit different for Mo Salah. So he struggled a lot. Yeah, he scored some goals here and there, but it wasn't the old Mo Salah that we all know. So, but yeah, I started the season with him, and as you can see, I captained him, and he got some returns. Now, the two other mistakes for the start of the season here were Leon Bailey and Mason Mount. These two players should not have been a part of this team, and I basically got them in because they had a good preseason, which is another thing that I think I should pay less attention in the future. So I don't really think that the preseason should be that valuable when we make our choices, because they are essentially friendly games that don't matter, and players like Leon Bailey, for example, he had an amazing preseason, played pretty much every game that Aston Villa played, and that's the reason why I got him in my team. And then as soon as the season starts, he gets benched all of a sudden for no reason. As you can see, Game Week 2 benched, Game Week 4 benched, and that was another mistake for me. And looking at it from here, I should have gone with some safer options. So yeah, there are two players actually from this Game Week 1 team that I have until Game Week 16, and those two players are Martinelli and Andreas Pereira. So I would like to ask you, do you have some players in your team that have been in it since the beginning? So I suppose the fact that I got Martinelli since the beginning was one of the best moments from my season. He was an amazing pick, and I will most likely have him until the end of the season, but we'll see what happened. So another big problem here, as you can see, is the fact that I had no Haaland, and he did score 2 goals in his starting game for Man City. So if we move into Game Week 2, you can see that my first transfer was Haaland in for Harry Kane, and this was a weird game week because Haaland played Bournemouth at home, and pretty much everyone could see a hat-trick in this game, but he ended up with only 1 assist and only found 5 points. So at the time, I have to say I did regret this transfer, making the transfer so early. I could have waited one more game with Harry Kane and then possibly went for Haaland, and I could have used that free transfer to get rid of double up on the Liverpool defense, but I did panic because of his huge ownership percentage, so I did end up with him in my team. And as you can see, for Game Week 2, 65 points, another average game week. I did try my best to not take hits at the start of this season, so I believe we will see. I believe my first hit was Game Week 9 or something like that. So let's go let's see Game Week 3. Now this is the first bad game week for me. As you can see, a below the average game week, and game week rank of over 6 million. So an awful game week for my team. And here you can clearly see the problem why this game week was bad. So double up on Liverpool, the most expensive defense in the game, 1 point. Double up on Man City, defense, 1 point. I didn't go with Salah captain, so at this point I was still trying my best to be differential, or to not just auto pick Haaland every single game. So I was trying to pick the best captain for that game with the best fixture. And here Salah did outscore Haaland with 2 points, so it worked here, but as you will see, it won't work in the future. So, and yes, this is here we start with the points on the bench. So Leon Bailey, he became a troll. As soon as I benched him, he got some returns, and whenever I had him in my team, he blanked or even got benched. So at this point my team is not really doing that great. I am struggling here, but I still stick to my plan. I don't take hits. So as you can see, I made two free transfers here, I got in a Brighton defender. I finally got rid of the double up on the Man City defense, and I also got, instead of the Man City defender, I got Gundogan in as the second Man City attacking option. He looked at the time like the good choice because he did play like an inverted striker, playing next to Haaland, basically making some runs from the midfield. But you can see here, so I have a lot of points from couple of players, but you can clearly see the problem here. It's the captaincy. So this is the first game week in which Haaland he got this is game week 4, correct? Yes, game week 4. So in game week 4 he got a hat-trick and I didn't captain him. The reason for that was that Salah played Bournemouth at home. Oh, this was the absolutely amazing game in which Liverpool scored 9 goals and somehow Salah got 0 returns. It's absolutely out of this world. I just can't understand this game, to be honest. Looking at it from this perspective, I would still probably captain Salah in this game week if I had the option. It just makes sense. But football is sometimes weird like that. And yeah, that's the problem for this game week. That's the reason why my rank is not amazing. If I captained Haaland instead of Salah, or if Salah got some returns, this would have been my first good game week of the season. But if we move to game week 5, now this game week is a lot better. So if we look here, I made no transfers, so I tried my best to roll some transfers and have two free transfers, so that I have the best or the most possible options for transfers every second game week. So this is the same team, and there are a lot of points actually here when I look at it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 players with double-digit points, plus couple of others. But again, I did go for the wrong captain. I went with Gabriel Jesus as the captaincy option this game week, and Haaland, as you can see, another game week, another hat-trick for him. So this is the second big mistake for me, for my team, and that is not perma captaining Haaland during his inform spell. So that is another mistake that I have to work on, which is basically a lot of the time I get stuck into fixtures over form. So I just look at the fixture that the team has and I think, wow, this is amazing, I have to captain this player. But in the meantime, another player that has a slightly harder fixture is just scoring goals for fun. That is the second thing that I have to change in the future. Sometimes I have to go for the inform player, as you can see here with Haaland, and I will try my best to do that in the second half of the season. Now moving forward, game week 6, once again another average game week with two free transfers. So I finally decided to change the goalkeeper. I was not happy with Arsenal's defense because attackingly they scored a lot of goals, but they seemed to concede a goal in every game. So I did go with Nick Pope, and I finally got rid of the of the Liverpool double up on the defense. But I got in Reece James instead of Robertson, so a bad transfer. Reece James Chelsea conceded a lot of goals, and he got injured as soon as I got him in my team, so that was a waste of a transfer. So captaincy, I finally got it correctly, going for Haaland, but other than that, absolutely disastrous game week 6. Now game week 7 was the blank game week, and here we go, game week 8. I played my wildcard. Basically, the reason for this was I had two choices, basically play the wildcard on game week 8 or wait for game week 12, and I did end up going for it in game week 8 because of the blank game week 7 game week. There was a lot of time, there were a couple of weeks without football, so yes, this felt like the correct moment, and I was not happy with a lot of the players in my team. I wanted to rotate around and catch some good fixtures, so this is how my wildcard looked. Looking at it from here, I think the triple up on Newcastle was correct. Also triple up on Man City did work as well. I got De Bruyne in good moments, into a good moment in the season, so those things worked. The problem with this wildcard was Perisic and the West Ham players. So Emerson was a huge miss. I got him in because I thought that he would have that left fullback position nailed, but it ended up being that Cresswell was the player that's going to start every game, and Emerson was just a bench player. So those three picks were the poor picks for the wildcard, but the rest of the team does look good. And then game week 9, this was my best game week this season, so I was 2 points away from 100 points, and if this is a very interesting game week. Not only my best, but the most interesting game week for me this season. So as you can see here, I have Maddison captain, and not Haaland. Once again, I decided to not go for Haaland captaincy, and so basically, let me see, game week 9, Haaland, he played Man United at home. He got 3 goals, 2 assists in this game. And James Maddison, he played, I believe, Nottingham Forest, if I remember, yes, and he got 2 goals and 1 assist. So basically, the reason why I did this is because Man City and Man United is a derby game. So basically I thought that Man United were going to kinda park the bus and try to keep the game tight, not concede a lot of goals, and they do have players like Varane and Martinez in the defense. So yeah, I thought this game would be a low scoring game, and I did fancy James Maddison against Nottingham Forest, and I went with Maddison, and Haaland actually played his game first, and when I saw he scored, I was pretty much ready to quit the game, to be honest. I was just done with everything. But then luckily I watched the Leicester vs Nottingham Forest game, and James Maddison, he just played an amazing game. He scored 2 amazing goals, got an assist, 3 bonus points, and he got close to Haaland's score. He was basically 1 goal away from outscoring Haaland. and he was close to getting that goal. So in the end, it ended up not being a disaster, but actually a solid gimmick. And if I only kept on Haaland, I would have passed the 100 points mark. But it was a good gimmick either way. So gimmick 10, another good gimmick for my team. So this is the time when my team starts just constantly getting green arrows and going up the ranks. So gimmick 10, another good gimmick for me. I'm very happy with my team that I have for this gimmick especially. So here you can see only 3 players did not get points. So I did get Martial in the team because he looked amazing in the previous games, but unfortunately he only played 20 minutes in this game and he got an assist and then he got injured. So basically I got him in, and for game 11 I had to transfer him out right away. And this is the first gimmick in which I had a -4 hit, and the Martial injury, oh no, he's on my bench here. So oh yes, I got Guaita in my team and Doherty. So I got tired of having a double up on the Newcastle defense, because if you see, since I got them in, so no clean sheet, no clean sheet, no clean sheet. These 3 games, if they only had like at least 1 clean sheet, I would have kept Nick Pope and continued with the double up on their defense, but they conceded in every game, and I just thought that their defense is not as good as I thought. So once again, the double up into defense that we talked about previously not working out, and I did end up selling Nick Pope. But funnily enough, after this gimmick they actually started keeping a lot of clean sheets, so it was a weird timing on my part, and this is a forgettable gimmick, not very important. And gimmick 12, here is when I played my free hit. This is the blank gimmick in which Man City Arsenal did not play their game, and basically if I didn't play my free hit for this gimmick, I would have had only like 7, I believe, players playing. So I didn't feel like taking a lot of hits to transfer out a Man City or Arsenal players, so that I would have to get them back in next gimmick. So I did go for a free hit, and to be honest, it's not the worst free hit in the world considering the average overall, but it's not good either. Maybe it was possibly a waste. So I had some good players here, as you can see. Barnes, Zaha, Darwin all got some returns and some clean sheets from Brighton and Newcastle, but again captaincy fail, no points from Salah. Sterling, a huge miss, he got benched in this game. I don't know why I picked him. I think it was because I had so much money left in my bank. So not that good free hit, and it will actually affect my season going forward, because basically I will have to pay attention on when will the first double gimmick be, because I don't have my free hit now available. So for example, if the first double gimmick is gimmick 22, let's say, I would have to start getting players in my team for that gimmick, a lot earlier, so game week 17-18 I will have to transfer in players that will have double game week, just so I don't fall behind all the teams that will have their free hit. So that is a slight problem for me for this season, but I think I will manage to to do that, and we will see. Now game week 13 is the second game in which I made a hit, a -4 hit, and this is the game week in which I got Firmino in my team, basically because Liverpool had good fixtures coming up and I just had to have at least one Liverpool option in my team. I did not want to go without any, but he was an awful pick. He did nothing in my team all the way until game week 16, and yes, as you can see, Pereira here on my bench, 10 points. This happened a lot this season, but I don't mind it because he is a bench player for me, and I can't predict when he will score, when he will not. I would just have him on my bench, and then when I need him, I will get him in my team. It's as simple as that. Now, game week 14. As you can see, as you can notice, as we go with the game weeks moving forward, the first 8, let's say it like that, game weeks were a lot worse for me, and the second 8 game weeks a lot better. So my team picked up form and I made the correct transfers. As you can see here as well, my transfer for this game week was Luke Shaw, and he got a clean sheet. So another correct transfer. De Bruyne captaincy because Haaland was injured on my bench. So another good game week 14. Game week 15, slightly less but still okay game week. Here the problem was, let me just see, let me try to remember. Oh yeah, this was the Man City game in which Cancelo got a red card and they played the whole game with 10 men, so Haaland and De Bruyne, they barely got one return each. So that was the problem with this game week, and then we moved to the last game week of the first half of the season, which is game week 16. As you can see, my team got 55 points for this game week, and my two transfers were Darwin Núñez in, and I also got this Mitoma kit from Brighton. I liked the way he looked against Wolves, also in their cup game. I can't remember who they played, so he played the left wing and he looked dangerous. I wanted to get him in for as a one game punt, just for fun, but he ended up being sick, I believe, and missed the whole game. And yes, Darwin Núñez, he had a great game week, and Firmino finally got a return for me. But Man City did awfully this game week. Haaland 1 point, De Bruyne 2, Cancelo 1 point, and that was the problem. But even with that, I still got 55 points. I still got a decent game week, but because of that I did not reach my overall rank goal. Now the question becomes if Haaland scored a goal or two and De Bruyne assisted some of those goals, like I was planning, like a lot of people thought that would happen. Maybe in that case maybe I would have reached the top 100k, but that's the past now. It is what it is. We move on, and my full focus is for the second half of the season. And my plan for the second half is, first, I would most likely not double up on a defense. Maybe, just maybe, I will do it on a Newcastle defense with 3 pair and a 4.5 defender, which I would rotate around a bench and on my bench and starting 11. But that's just a slight possibility. Other than that, I will not be doubling up on any other defenses. That's for sure. I will also make sure I have 2 premiums for captaincy. So Haaland will be one of the 2, and the other one is a hard choice. At the moment, I think it will be Salah, because he's not playing at the World Cup, so he will be rested. But Harry Kane is another option I am considering. Also, my plan is to have a lot of cheap mids, because they do score a lot of points this season. So I will most likely keep Martinelli. I will also most likely add his teammate Odegaard. I like him. And Almiron from Newcastle, he will be in my team as well. So that's the plan. And I also plan to go expensive up front. So Haaland and Darwin Núñez will be in my team. And I'm also looking at a way to get Harry Kane in the team as well. So that's quite expensive. But yeah, that's the plan for the second half of the season. My overall goal will be top 10k, and I believe I can reach it, to be honest. I'm quite excited about the season, and I'm excited about the World Cup playing right now. It's a good break, and I'm watching the Argentina game right now. So yeah, that's all for today's video. Please let me know how does your season look so far. Are you happy with your overall rank and things like that? And hopefully we can together look at our mistakes that we made and make sure we don't repeat them in the second half of the season. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you for the Game 17 preview. Now, until then, I will put some videos about the World Cup. So that's the plan. I will try my best to cover as many World Cup games as possible. So yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you hanging out, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.